So a week or so ago, I did a I did a couple videos covering the Afrikaner situation and the fact that, it's a bit funny that we suddenly granted refugee status. And I think Stephen Miller, someone said this is a textbook definition of refugee status for white South Afrikaner farmers. And I found that a little funny, considering we are ending the temporary protected status programs, asylum programs, refugee programs for like Haiti, for Venezuela, Cuba, when they are objectively in worse positions in South Africa. And they're also trying to claim that there's a white genocide in South Africa. We are going to go over all of this, all of this, and you can see where I'm coming from. Anyways, well, let me preface for a second. Timestamps below because I'm gonna rant for a little bit. The most frustrating thing for me about this whole situation is Trump and his supporters, his base, are suddenly pro-immigration for these white South Africans. Yes, I know the website embassy now says all minorities, but his own executive order, like, let me explain how someone could come to the conclusion I came to. Trump's own executive order specifies Afrikaners. Afrikaners are white. And he made several references to farmland being stolen and etc., etc. So the executive order made no mention of other minorities except for Afrikaners. All of Trump's rhetoric has been white. White people are getting killed, or they happen to be white. And of course, Elon goes further and just blatantly says there's a white genocide going on. And as we're about to watch here in a moment, timestamps in the description below if you don't want to listen to me ramble. He's even saying straight up, like, there's a white genocide now. And, like, so they're not, it's obviously the embassy change was 100% because of pushback in a safe face. So far, the first group that came here, guess what? They were all white. We'll keep an eye on the groups that come in following, but how am I supposed to not deduce that this is just like racist because he's ending all these programs for states like Haiti, or countries like Haiti, which is a failed state. It doesn't have a functioning government right now. It is being controlled by several gangs. Like, the government fleed. They're not there. Or Venezuela, which ranks #1 in the world on the crime index. So not only is he ending these programs, he's forcibly deporting these people back. Do you see why I have a problem here? And if it were up to me, or if I was in charge or whatever, I wouldn't even end the program for South African refugees. Let's be clear. Like, just because I take issue with the principle of it and how it came about in contrast to everything else going on, yeah, I acknowledge South Africa has a lot of shit going on. It does have a high crime rate. Does it have a genocide specifically against white people? No. But as we'll probably see, I don't know if it explicitly says it, but, like, there's more black people that get killed every day in South Africa than white people. And there's black farmers who also get killed. It just so happens that majority of farmers are white. Anyways, so would I deny refugees from there? No, because on principle, I am generally pro-immigration. So as long as they've been vetted, I don't care. Come on in. I really don't care, because every study in the world says that immigrants are not only beneficial for our economy, but also lower crime because they commit significantly less crime. So, that leads to, like, this is such an unprincipled position. And suddenly all of these Republicans are experts on South African history and what's going on in South Africa. Or not history, they just ignore the part where there's like a white, basically a genocide, apartheid, when it was controlled by white supremacists. But hey, let's ignore that. They'll scream white genocide, white genocide. We need to take these people. You're a monster. How could you be against it? For one, I'm not against it. We can take them. I don't care. I just find it incredibly frustrating that we're ending all these other programs for brown people and Mexicans while letting these specifically white people in. Like, how am I not supposed to take issue with that? You don't have principles. Like, you don't have principles. If you're defending this and simultaneously against and supporting, actually actively supporting the mass deportations of Venezuelans, Haitians, etc., then I can't honestly engage with you. You're just fucking unprincipled and borderline racist, if not racist. Like, borderlines me being kind. And I love how all these people are calling out white genocide, and these are probably people who don't believe Israel is committing a genocide in freaking Gaza. Oh, but yeah, like, it's just annoying to watch the past few months of the Trump and his base railing against immigration, ending programs for people who still actually need them. I didn't even mention Afghanistan, which is controlled by the Taliban. Or is it the Taliban or is it Al Qaeda? It's some jihad group. Like, all of these countries are objectively worse than South Africa. I'm sorry. But again, South Africans can still come here. Just apply your immigration standards fairly. And, like, oh, God. Like, despite all my issues and with the principles and racial bias of this new refugee program, I wouldn't end it. I wouldn't suddenly deport anyone who came here on it in a few years. No, I wouldn't. Can you say the same about any of the other programs? No, because you just last week was actively cheering on the mass deportation of hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans, Haitians, Afghans, Nicaraguans, Cubans, etc., Mexicans. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. You don't have principles. Shut the fuck up. All right. Let's watch this video. Trump confronts South African leader with baseless claims of systematic, there we go. English is hard. Killing of white farmers. Oh, if you thought that, like, Trump berating President Zelensky was bad, this is a different kind of bad.
Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No.
This is, like, fits so perfectly with Republicans just say shit. Like, they don't have anything to back up. Like, you would think if you're going to make a claim of white genocide, you would at least be able to cite your sources. Where's this from, Mr. President? Did they tell you where this is from? No. Stick around. Stick around. We're gonna talk about where that's from.
I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. I don't. Okay.
I mean, it's in South Africa. That's no. When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land.
As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me.
Yeah, his Minister of Agriculture is white, by the way.
So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
No, nobody can take land.
And then when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is quite...
Nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now
the farmers are black. The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black.
I really would like us to talk about, and talk about it very calmly.
Turn the lights.
What the hell are we doing, man? Per ChatGPT, our favorite MAGA consultant, what do independent studies show regarding white genocide in South Africa? Independent studies and official data consistently refute the claim of white genocide occurring in South Africa. This narrative, often propagated by far-right groups and amplified by figures like ChatGPT, does this little hallucination which fucking kills me. It always likes to refer to President Trump as former US president. Oh god, like it'll talk about him in a modern context and then call him former. Lacks empirical support and has been dismissed by experts, courts, and even many within South Africa's white farming community. Crime statistics: South Africa does experience high levels of violent crime. However, there is no evidence indicating that white farmers are disproportionately targeted. In 2024, for instance, 12 murders were reported on farms, with only one victim being a farmer. The majority of these incidents affected farm workers who are predominantly black. This data contradicts the notion of racially motivated campaign against white farmers. I also feel like you're telling on yourself, especially if you have any understanding of what South Africa went through not too long ago under white supremacist control. It's like, yeah, the white people, they own all the land. It's like, I wonder why. And their farmhands are all black. But, you know, even though they're getting probably killed more than the white people, yeah, screw them. We don't care about the whites. The South African government's land reform initiatives aim to address historical injustices stemming from apartheid-era land dispossession. The 2024 Expropriation Act allows for land seizure without compensation under specific legally contestable circumstances. Contrary to claims of widespread land confiscation, no farms have been seized under this law since its enactment. White South Africans, who make up about 7% of the population, still own a majority of the country's rural land. So it hasn't even been used yet. Now, do I have issues with certain aspects of it, like the fact that they can seize your land? I mean, apparently you can contest it, but if they can seize your land without compensation, yeah, that's fucked up. But are they seizing your land and literally murdering you? No. Organizations like Genocide Watch, we're going to talk about more about them in a sec, because a lot of the experts in my comment section and people who care so much about immigration like to cite them a lot when trying to defend this shit, which previously expressed concern over farm attacks, have not classified the situation in South Africa as genocide. Analysts emphasize that the misuse of the term genocide in this context undermines the gravity of actual genocides and distracts from genuine human rights issues. And I guarantee you, most of the people screaming white genocide will not also say that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza. I guarantee you. The assertion of a white genocide in South Africa is not supported by independent studies, crime statistics, or judicial findings. While rural crime remains a concern, it is a complex issue affecting various communities and is not indicative of a targeted campaign against white South Africans. The perpetuation of this myth serves to inflame racial tensions and distract from broader challenges facing the nation. Let's look at Genocide Watch, shall we? So, all these people in my comment section like to say, they're a rank whatever on Genocide Watch, bro. Like, okay, like, again, like I said, I'd be completely fine with these refugees coming over. Like, overall, I am fine. I just think it is incredibly hypocritical and unprincipled and just flat out racist to deny existing immigration programs for other countries and simultaneously deport them. Let's look at. So, South Africa, they have it at 6 polarization alert status watch, and this is for the African immigrants and white farmers. So people like to cite this while ignoring. So let's look at one of the countries that we are, deporting people to. Oh, Mexico. It happens to be at stage 8 with an alert status as emergency. Interesting. What about, what's this? Haiti. Oh, Haiti, opposition supporters, blah, blah, blah. So they are at 5 and 6 at a warning. Okay, so, I mean, they're actually orange. So, wait, yeah, they're at a warning. They're a degree higher than South Africa. What's this? Oh, Colombia. We're also deporting people from there and getting rid of their status. And they're in an emergency alert status. Interesting. Oh, what's this right here? the United States. Warning's worse than a watch. What is this? Yeah, so sorry, your argument of like, oh, it's on the Genocide Watch, bro. Yeah, it is. And every country that I talked about is significantly worse off, and as a result are also on the Genocide Watch with higher degrees. Insane. Also, I was curious if the UN made any claims on South Africa, because that's normally where I like to fall to. Does the UN say there is a genocide against South African whites? No, the United Nations has not declared that a genocide is occurring against white South Africans. This claim has been widely discredited by experts, South African authorities, and independent fact checkers. Here we go again. Well, I love you, ChatGPT. Never stop hallucinating. While U.S. President Donald Trump has alleged that white farmers in South Africa are victims of genocide and land seizures, these assertions lack substantiated evidence. During a recent Oval Office meeting, Trump presented a video depicting white crosses. Remember the white crosses in that big parade or whatever he said? Which he claimed were graves of murdered white farmers. However, these crosses were symbolic representations from a 2020 protest and not actual burial sites. And this was reported by Reuters and several other outlets. South African president refuted these claims, emphasizing that crime in South Africa affects all racial groups, which is true. And we already went over land things. Statistical data supports the absence of targeted violence against white farmers in 2024. South Africa recorded 26,232 murders nationwide, with only 44 linked to farming communities, and just 8 of those victims were farmers. Furthermore, a South African court dismissed the notion of white genocide as clearly imagined, not real. Summary: the United Nations does not recognize any genocide against South Africans, and the prevailing evidence does not support such claims. All right. So, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Just have a principled stance. Again, I'll take refugees. I acknowledge South Africa has a high crime rate, but like, there's not a white genocide, and you can't be in supportive of this program while also in opposition to programs for Venezuelans, Haitians, etc. Like, do you understand me? Do you understand, like, being principled is important? And yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.